pool. I want to see if it's going to be picked or not. I mean, some of the other priority picks that we have been seeing, the likes of that set, still remains very, very popular. And it's going to be the Syndra locked in for G2 Esports. Whether that's in Perks' hands or Cap's hands, that's what I'm going to see. That's what I'm going to. It's going to be interesting throughout the course of this series. Whether or not Perks and Caps will be swapping champions. Whether or not they'll actually be maybe even, playing one another's roles. This is Caps' first playoff series as a bot laner, and he may be staring down a Kalista Nautilus combination. Of course, taking a look through the rest of the draft right now, G2 Esports have to decide what do they want to prioritize, what do they want to lock in here to potentially either match the bottom lane or secure a priority pick for one of their other lanes. It is the set secured, so they've locked that one in. One of those options that we've seen in a couple of different roles, actually. I'd be very excited to see that set move around. We've seen it top, we've seen it mid. I've heard a lot of people talk about it in support as well, but with G2, you've got 2 flex picks straight out of the gate. And that was, of course, one of the big question marks that Mad Lions have to answer. Are they ready for what G2 can throw at them? Mac was saying he's going to focus on his own gameplay and his own team's performance. And that is what they're hoping to do. Reminder that Mad Lions as well are one of the only teams, other than G2 Esports, that managed to pick up a win against Fnatic, G2, and Origin. But picking up a victory in a best of 1 versus taking a series against the back-to-back defending champions and a world finalist G2, that is a whole beast, entirely different. While we continue to work on Yamato Cannon's microphone, I'm going to welcome Andrew Vedius Day for joining me at the caster desk. From laggiest to Vedius, what do you make of the draft so far?
Well, let's have a look. What have we got here? So we've got the Syndra plus the set priority. I think is super fascinating because Syndra has been a champion that over recent patches some teams have actually chosen to move away from in terms of the priority bans. But given that G2 is so proficient at being able to flex it into multiple roles, it is still a very strong flex pick for this team. Of course, it does give Mad a lot of priority champions in the form of Kalista, something that they brought out against G2 last time, but with the Taric banned away, they're forced to change their support pick in the form of the Nautilus. So Mad already have a very strong 2 versus 2, and with a good early game impact jungler, it does suggest that Mad might be looking to attack that bot side of the map.
Okay, very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out, of course, because it was Kazi and Kaiser that, again, they're sort of the standout players. Kaiser in particular, especially with his end of split performance, was one of the names that was thrown around for Rookie of the Split. I want to see what Shadow's going to do on this Gragas. When I was preparing this series with Yamato Cannon, we talked extensively about the Lee Sin versus Gragas and like who would get what. I love the fact that Lee Sin was taken away from Shadow.
It's also one of Yankus's favorite picks as well. When you speak to Grabs, he's always complaining about the fact that whenever Lee is open, Yankus always suggests it. Always going, hey, maybe we could lock in Lee here. Maybe we could go for this. And the last time he played it against Origin, he was terrifying on it. He utilizes pressure so well to get into the face of his opposition to really create some chaos. Now, what you're seeing from G2's draft is a lot of early game pressure. This heavily suggests with the Lucian locked in that the Syndra could be, well, I say it could be. No, it doesn't. It doesn't suggest anything, Trevor, because it's mid, G2. It's Lucian mid, it could be Lucian bot, it could literally be anywhere.
Syndra support. Come on, give me Syndra support. No, I mean, that's not going to happen, right? But wait. I do like the fact that Caps is going to be running the Lucian. Don't pick Maokai.
It's going to be Maokai. It's going to be Maokai. G2,
wait,
are
so
they
set
really
support?
Maokai?
Yes!
Play Maokai.
No! Oh, man. Oh, I'm so torn. Okay, I get set support, but yes, in order to get set support, I have to have Maokai top. I don't think that's a fair trade. I don't want it. Okay, so what does set Lucian do into Kalista Nautilus? I mean, how is this going to play out?
Well, that's assuming it's set Lucian. It could still be Syndra bot, mate. That's the scary thing. I think G2 are going to wait to see.
You can't put Syndra support. Oh! Leon is locked in!
So they're
Nautilus
doing
mid.
Nautilus
Oh
mid.
my god! FPX! Yeah. They are channeling their inner FPX. They're trying.
You are too excited for a Nautilus mid. Quick shot is.
Yes, but it's the message. It's not about the pick.
Okay.
It's not about the Maokai. It's not about the Nautilus. It is about the ghost of GO3's past in the World Championship final.
So, the things to note here is the Lucian is going to go into the mid lane. So what does this give G2? Well, a very easy pushing mid setup. This allows Jankos to be very aggressive in the early game, and we're going to be seeing a lot of pressure from this Jankos-Perkz duo, as we've come to expect from G2. You've also got Syndra in the bot lane, which is a big comfort pick for Caps, something that he used to be known on last year when he played a lot of mid lane for G2. And when you pair it up with the set we saw from Mad just last week when they played against Origin, how powerful this 2v2 can be. So I think G2 have drafted themselves a very early game comp. And Trevor, I'm sure when we get into the game, you're going to talk a lot about the early game stats from G2 and why this could be a very scary thing for Mad to go up against in game 1.
You read my notes, you cheater. Really quick though, what happens if Perkz and Caps just walk to the other lane and Caps goes mid with Syndra?
There's no way. It's not going to happen.
All right, well, let's jump into game 1. G2 versus Mad. Welcome to Game 1 of the LEC Spring 2020 playoffs. I would like to try and welcome back Yamato Cannon to the broadcasts. So Yamato, when we first tried to introduce
you, feel like Ric Flair, I'm ready to go, man.
Monologue, I think you'll have a little bit of time. What do you expect from this series today?
I'm so happy we get to cast this series as the first series of the LEC playoffs, because to me this defines the whole thing. G2's level, what are they going to come in as? Always the best of fives. G2, they always level up coming into it. We look at them as the favorites. We look at them as spring split winners, naturally. What level are going to bring when Caps is playing bottom? Mad Lions, the dark horse. This is the team that can cause some ruckus. They can be the ones that cause some damage. Maybe to Origin, maybe to Fnatic, maybe today to G2, because in the regular season, they took games off of them.
Yamato,
so this is the series to watch 100%.
Summary. I know you were watching the draft while we were working on your microphone, and just to all our viewers and everybody watching at home, thank you for bearing with us. We are still iterating on this work from home LEC, and it does come with more speed bumps than we would like. Yamato, as we start to see the trading, give me a brief summary of your expectations for these two team comps and what you want to see the teams do.
When the Maokai gets locked into the Aatrox, we know G2's approach already from the get-go. They want to leave Oromo on the weak side and just boom into that top side. No problem at all. They want to just make sure that Caps and this Kalista, Karzi of course, they force that 2v2, they keep going for it. Every action is going to lead into that bottom side.
And keeping my eyes in on the junglers as well. Jankos obviously early picked that Lee. And that means he's going to start to clear out. And I want to see what he's going to do against Shadow. One of the big stories coming into this game was just the gigantic mismatch between the Lee Sin, the Jankos rather, and Shadow, the abilities that they have. Shadow, obviously a rookie jungler to the stage. He's had some impressive performances. And when Yamato and I were, preparing and researching, we were nervous about what Shadow's level of play was going to have on the series. The expectation is that Jankos should be able to run all over him. So we'll see what happens in terms of the remainder of the series. Shadow now going to have some support from Kaiser as he starts to clear out some wards. Jankos was looking for a little bit of an invade, but nothing ended up coming of it. No interactions there, no challenges, and Scuttle Crab will now be picked up here on the Mad Lion side. As the lane continues to play out, it looks like it's slowly pushing towards the Mad Lions. As you can no doubt tell, Yamato Cannon is currently still working with some audio-related issues. We're attempting to synchronize a lot of the microphones. Producers are informing me that we were talking over one another, and that is obviously a problem for everybody listening at home. Well, let's take a look. Shadow with the first appearance here. Dredgeline will connect onto Perkz. Body Slam Flash is available for Shadow if he wants to. Decides against it. Perkz with the flash and the heal would have been able to escape, and they end up trading flash for flash. If Human already got that bonk on the head and rooted him in place, maybe then Shadow could have followed up for the first blood. When we were looking into this game as well, Perkz on Euphoria was talking about how excited he was going to be coming up against Humanoid. Excited to play against him because Humanoid likes to play those assassins. I mentioned in the draft, the LeBlanc was banned away, the Kiana was banned away. And Perks is playing a little bit aggressive now, steps forward with the help of Yankos, moving away, First Blood picked up by the First Blood King. Yankos cannot chase further onto Shadow. It's a 1-for-1 as G2 and Mad Lions trade blow for blow. It turns out, member of the broadcast team that had the worst internet is now going to be coming back to help out as Veddy's been able to catch this first kill. It's weird how the world changes, doesn't it, my man?
It's super weird. Anyway, so I didn't get to see the full setup, but what I wanted to talk about was something we mentioned in draft, the fact that Yankos and Perks is a very powerful 2 versus 2 lane. Mad wanted to try and get ahead of the play, though. The thing about Mad's duo is they have a lot of crowd control, but unless they land everything, they don't have the damage. The opposite is true for G2. Because you have the Lucian in the early game, he's running the press the attack, along with the Lee Sin. As long as he hits that Q, you have so much setup damage. So even though G2 had a health disadvantage, they're able to come up with an early kill. Though, the fact that Mad do find that trade still pretty good for them, but you can see the deficit starting to mount in the mid lane. The question is, how is Yankos now going to use this early kill and early lead that he's been able to pick up to further pressure the map?
I mean, if there was any jungler that was going to be able to do that, it's going to be this man. Where would you like him to go? I mean, Yamato and you both talking a lot about this bottom lane prio. All flashes available, cleanse as well on Kazi. So, do you want to see any pressure there? And when would you expect it to come?
Well, the thing you've got to look for is a potential dive. Now, you talked about the FPX message that Mad was trying to send, quick shot. But there's no Predator on the Nautilus, which means that we're not expecting super carry humanoid this game.
Come on!
Yes, they are rookies. That's been the whole narrative of them for the entire split, quick shot. But the thing is, I wouldn't say that it's super common on a Nautilus. It's just a very Doinby thing to do. However, the Aftershock provides you with a lot of utility in terms of defensive stats, and it helps you in terms of the 1v1 against Solution, especially if you're able to land that skill shot. However, in terms of setting up dives, it's really easy with the Kalista once she hits level 6. We do see a bit of trading between Yankos and Shadow, and he has to be careful because Kaiser is in the vicinity. But the reason dives are very possible in the bot lane is because you do have that ultimate from the Kalista to reset the tower aggro. So Kaiser can be used to set up a lot of these engages and then get out of harm's way as Mickey flashes in.
Yeah, he does. Manages to get through. It's 3-on-2. That's until Humanoid arrives. Humanoid will be able to catch out Perks. The teleport comes down from Arome as well. Kaiser's looking for Yankos but can't find him. Perks will go down as the Nature's Grasp roots multiple members of the Mad Lions. That's one for Wonder. Mickey's running for his life, and Wonder may just be cut down where he stands. And Mad Lions come away with the team fight win. Mickey may not be able to escape here. No flash available. Body Slam will connect. And the kill should be donated here to Kazi, but the damage is massive! Gromp has been enlisted, it won't be enough for the kill. 4 kills to 2.
Really good smite there coming in from Shadow onto the Gromp to keep himself alive, but look at this situation. Notice that G2 initially have the numbers advantage, which is why they commit to the play. However, the TP comes in at a really good time from the side of Mad as the Maokai is walking down. The fact that the Syndra doesn't rotate up because Mad have prio on bot lane means that Mad actually get to collapse and have the numbers advantage at the end of the fight, forcing the rest of G2 to disengage, where they end up losing 3 members overall. This early game that was supposed to be heavily in the favor of G2, the fact that they were trying to use this mid-jungle power duo is slowly starting to fall apart, and Mad are getting kills onto the Kalista and are actually getting through what should be a pretty difficult early game.
Oh man, that is fantastic. 2-0 on Kazi's Kalista. Kalista Taric was the combination I was afraid of. I wondered if G2 would have the bravado to let it go through and be like, hey, you beat us with it last time, but we can beat you now. Kill the spirit of Mad Lions before it begins. But this is exciting on the Mad Lions side because traditionally they've been the comeback kids. Traditionally they've been the team that's fallen behind and needed to use their really good mid and late game to come back from deficits, and they find themselves with a kill lead and a minor gold lead.
The irony of this situation, Quickshot, is the very first time that these two teams met, the early game was very similar. G2 tried to force a lot of plays that kind of went to disaster, and then G2 were able to come back later on into the game. The second time that they meant, it was the other way around. G2 had a fantastic early game, and then they faltered in the mid game, and Mad was able to take advantage of it. And the story of these two teams this split has been very much whoever gets the early game lead actually ends up struggling more than their opposition. And now we could see Wonder struggling as he is in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, 1 versus 3 is Humanoid's going to arrive. Fate's Call from Kazi comes out. Wonder's doing a lot to stay alive. May almost have taken down Kaiser, but really showing off his Maokai mechanics.
Yeah, he really was.
There's a sentence I just felt dirty saying. Like, I'm sorry, viewers at home didn't deserve, but, you know, he made them work for it. They don't manage to get the tower just yet, but with the help of Shelly, if they summon it, that should help out, and Caps is pushing bottom lane.
Honestly, that just got to showcase the power of Kalista when it comes to setting up these dives. The tower reset of the aggro, but Maokai, as you were likely saying, Wonder did everything that he could in that situation. I think he played it as well as he could, and it's unfortunate that Kaiser wasn't slightly closer to the tower, because if he was, he may have actually been able to trade that for a 1-for-1. Of course, that wasn't the case. Mad also used the fact that they swapped their bot lane up to top to secure the Herald. They will secure first tower, and now they're going to be ahead in tempo, which means that they can bring their bot lane back towards the bot side of the map if they want to, or they can rotate them into the mid lane. But we just have to acknowledge how well Mad are utilizing this small early game lead that they got from G2's over aggression to snowball this gold lead. They're at a 1k advantage already, and if you saw the analyst test segment, Trevor, G2 on average at 15 have a 2.2k gold lead. So the fact that Mad are doing this in their very first playoff game against G2 is a very impressive start.
Well, Vedius, I'm glad you bring up those stats, because I just happen to have a graphic to show you. You're 100% right. G2 Esports' second half of the split, their early game strength was fantastic. It jumped all the way from plus 415 gold at 15 minutes to plus 2.2k, as you mentioned. Their kills at 15 went from 4.2 to 6.4. The time with the major lead from 30% to 50%. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's very impressive that Mad has been able to trade blow for blow. But as you know, Vedius, I like my stats, and the team that was in the lead at 15 minutes between these two teams lost both of their respective games.
We were just talking about that, right? It's the scary thing, yeah. So now we can see that Mad is in a commanding position. They're looking to threaten the bot lane tower. And notice how Humanoid has abandoned farm, and he's just a CC bot right now. He's roaming with his team, looking to set up plays, and I think this is the correct way to play Nautilus mid. The way in which G2 is responding is they're actually funneling a lot of gold onto Caps. If we can actually swap over and have a look at the gold between the two teams, we should be able to see that while Caps is at a 1k gold deficit, that's of course because he's 3 kills behind, but he has still completed his Luden's Echo. He's been picking up a lot of the plates, so that deficit could be a lot worse, as it looks like we're getting another fight.
We do indeed. Gragas barrel comes down, but there's 2 members of Mad Lions caught in a cacophony of G2 Esports. It's an easy 2 kills for G2. They are now marginally ahead on gold. They picked up that Cloud Drake. They're even on towers, and they're now pushing forward. Caps has completed the Luden's Echo, Blade of the Rune King sitting on perks, so that was just the right time for them to start getting into the combat.
Kazi does have the cleanse, and it looks like he's going to use it to go away.
He does indeed. It won't last too long, my friend.
Nope.
That was a pretty easy kill on the side of G2.
Yeah, that was a pretty big mistake from Kazi as well. He thought he was safe because he did have cleanse, but if we look at the minimap, you can see that the bottom side of the map does not belong to Mad Lions. They have that entire river littered with wards, and while they do have some deep vision inside G2's jungle, that was just a big overextension from Kazi after his duo just died in the mid lane. It was Mad who were trying to get a collapse onto G2. It was Mad who were trying to punish G2 for setting up a siege. But then Mad are the ones that end up getting collapsed upon because they messed up their engage. This has now given G2 3 very quick kills. And now the kill score is even, and G2 have suddenly taken control over the game.
Yeah, fantastic turnaround. Plus 700 gold. First items completed across the board. Taking a look at the lane assignments, Caps has now moved his way into that mid lane, and Perks is making his way up top, coming up against a roommate with the Blade of the Rune King and Cullen cooldown. I don't think Perks has got enough just yet to be able to pick up that kill, but nevertheless he's going to push that wave backwards. 123 CS to the 83 of Humanoid. There's a level advantage as well. And that is actually very scary when he's also got a kill and 3 assists to his name.
I think it's really important when, especially we look at tank matchups, to not compare Perks to Humanoid, but actually look at Wonder relative to Humanoid and Arome to Perks. Because Arome has just been bringing up a lot of free farm, while Wonder has been roaming around the map and trying to offer utility, while he's also being put under a lot of pressure by Mad. Meanwhile, Humanoid has been doing the same thing. So I think it makes more sense to kind of compare the tanks and their roles and their positions, and you can actually see it's quite even. But even then, Perk still has a pretty big advantage over Arome. It is partly due to the fact that he does have that kill, he's been picking up a lot of plates and a lot of tower farm, and he's likely going to secure this tower as well with the assistance of Jankos. But in terms of utility in the team fights later, you kind of have to look at Maokai and how much more he offers them than Nautilus. Because while Humanoid can lock down a single target, Wonder can lock down all of them. With his wide range ultimate and the bashing of the 2 tanks, it looks like Mad are looking to put more perks down onto the big tree.
Yep, Fat Man incoming. That's a flash body slam. The barrel comes out. Nature's Grasp will buy a few seconds, and the Maokai passive does so much! The Solar Flare slows him down, but look at all of those projectiles. The thing is, it's 15 minutes into the game, he's only got a Sunfire Cape, and it takes 4 Mad Lions to eat the tree.
Yeah, it certainly does, Quick Shot. That was a very close one, but G2, they're no slouches. They recognize Mad committed 4 members on the bot side of the map, so they're trying to trade elsewhere on the map. They pushed in mid, they got the tier 1, they're also pushing up top, and now they may even be able to trade this for a tier 2 in the mid lane. So G2, they're going to call this worth 2 towers for 1. Yes, they lost a kill. Let's see if Humanoid can convert it into anything.
No, not just yet. He goes golden. You can see the early game averages for Mad Lions on your screen. A fantastic scat of the week from Caps. But Mad Lions, who traditionally are down 600 gold, rank 6th and 7th for kills and deaths. Thank you, graphics and stats team. For them to be going even with G2 Esports, who've had one of the most dominant early games in the second half of the split, I'm excited. I came into today honestly expecting a quick 3-0.
Yeah.
I felt that G2 were like super heavy favorites, and I really anticipated this game to go the way of G2 very quickly. So Mad Lions, kudos for coming out the gate swinging. Now prove you belong here and, you know, play this mid game the way you have all split long. You've beaten G2 already 4 weeks ago. I wonder if they can do it again.
Yeah, oh, hang on, looks like we're going to get another fight.
Yeah, we are. Orome goes in with a lot of damage on those Qs. Jankos does not manage to connect with the Sonic Wave. Now all of a sudden he's in trouble. Forced to ward hop over the wall. Mad Lions get a cheeky kill onto Mickey, and they turn towards the Rift Herald. It's a 5-on-4 Vedius as the siege is being set up.
Good hook.
It is indeed. The Cullen comes down, starting to tag a lot of people. Humanoid flashing for his life. Great solar flare from Kaiser. This is a madness of a fight already. There are so many stacks in the Rift Herald, and it will be taken down. Now all of a sudden Shadow goes golden. Jankos forced to flash for his life, and now it's Mad Lions on the run. This was a 5 versus 4. Unleashed Power will not find the kill, but Perks does. G2, they do trade 1 for 1 as Jankos goes down. The Caps won't be able to lob any balls to kill Mad Lions, but they get the Herald and they get out.
Yeah, but it's Mad that comes out ahead in this fight, Quick Shot. The fact that they found themselves 2 kills, they get themselves the Rift Herald, and they only lose Kaiser. How can you not be happy with that result? Let's see here. This fight actually starts off with Mickey already dead. G2 want to make sure that they do not give up a second Rift Herald. They don't want to lose that much pressure, but a fantastic ultimate from Kaiser stops G2 dead in their tracks as they're trying to re-engage, and a great interrupt there from Shadow on the E. Just as Wonder lands his W, he gets knocked up, and then a great body block from Arome to keep Humanoid alive. Just so many small mechanical excellence here that we're seeing from the Mad Lions squad. It's what you need when playing against G2, because G2 is a team that in these situations rely on their mechanics to outplay you. They will take 50-50 situations and they will turn them into 80-20 because of how good their players are. But if Mad continues to play like this, they're going to keep going toe-to-toe, and situations that are not as clear-cut for G2 are going to end up backfiring, as we just saw from the Mad Lions.
Absolutely the case. One of the things that... the big stories, the big expectations for this series that Yamato and I had, Vedius, was that there's this element of mystery. What can Mad Lions do? Expectations for them, very low. You know, hey, the expectation is G2's going to stomp this. What level will G2 show us? Will Caps play Mages? A lot of these questions are now starting to gain some light, and G2, they're on the hunt. Very good sidestep from Kaiser and Kazi. Scat of the Week won't find a stun. But I am very interested to see how these next 10 minutes now play out. And it still feels as though G2 are one step ahead, but Mad Lions are not being crushed by that. They are putting up a fight, and they were showing that they can be competitive.
I'm kind of thinking about how the rest of this game looks and what these upcoming fights will look like, and I'm trying to think about scaling, because we talked a lot about how G2 should actually have a very strong mid-jungle duo, but they didn't dominate the early game. Mad went toe-to-toe with them. But now when we get into these Drake fights that we're going to be seeing very soon, I think one of the big challenges that G2 is going to have is how do they get on top of Kazi? How do they stop this Kalista from just running wild? Because I think that in straight up front-to-back fights, if G2 is just trying to run at Mad, Kazi's just going to keep kiting them. And when you have a Nautilus, a Gragas, and a Leona, there's so much peel for this champion that I think it's going to be really difficult unless G2 can find a good fight. And look, they're trying to run at them right now. But how do they close that gap?
Vedius, this is insane. G2 tried to make a play for Dragon in the team fight. They end up losing 2 towers, but they get themselves a kill. They got themselves the Dragon. Mickey escapes with his life. The Dragon Raid kicks, knocks Kai's all the way back. There goes Yankos. He's stunned up, locked up, but not taken down. That's a route onto Kazi. Kazi stays alive for now. He's hopping and skipping and throwing the Ren stacks in. Sonic Wave doesn't find its target. That means Yankos goes down. Kazi continues to run for his life. Uses the stopwatch, but it should just be ornamental now. It ends up being a 2 for 3 in kills. But Mad Lions got the towers.
So the question was, how does G2 get onto Kazi? Well, you just have to run through the front line and you keep running at them and you don't stop. So many flashes were committed from the side of G2 to just get onto Kazi, but you saw how difficult it was. His kite back was beautiful. The fact that he kept just to arm's length, and again, look at how hard G2 tried to collapse. First, it's a 3 versus 5. A good ultimate from Wonder locks up 2 members, but then all this crowd control is body blocking. I like this ultimate from Mickey because it splits up Mad. Half are dealing with Mickey while the other 2 are dealing with the front line of Putux and Yankos as they just melt through it. But here, Kazi gets caught up in a choke point. A great W from Wonder's able to sidestep Kaiser, and this provides the initial CC that allows them to start the chase. But again, look at him. He's just kiting backwards.
Unreal.
Wonder has to commit his flash as well, and you can see how difficult it's going to be to actually shut him down. Yes, this was a 1-team fight for G2, but you talked about it, Quick Shot. Mad got themselves 2 towers off the back of this, and I don't think that these fights are going to be as straightforward as that, because those flash cooldowns are going to be so important if G2 want to try and win these fights. Otherwise, Kazi's just going to have free reign over this.
Kazi's flash is about to become off cooldown. He picked up a GA as well as Runon's Hurricane, so he's got those 2 for the next fight. Shadow on that Gragas has got the Hourglass available. His flash is not there, but he's 3-0-3. Mad Lions, 500 goal up. They've got a kill ahead of G2, a tower ahead of G2 at 21 minutes, and we had a fantastic game on our hands. You were talking about the later stages and how the front and back team fights are going to play out, but is there a clear-cut winner in sort of scaling? Like, do you prefer Mad or G2's comp? It's tough, isn't it? Because they're quite unconventional.
I think Mad's outscales when I look at it, because I think Gragas offers a lot more in terms of utility later on into the game. Well, I do think Maokai can do a lot. The thing you've got to think about for Maokai is he's a great setup champion. So he sets someone up to then swing the bat, right? And I'm looking at G2's comp and I'm thinking, okay, who exactly is he trying to set up? Because the problem that G2's champs have is that if Lucian tries to go in, there's a lot of crowd control on the side of Mad. So he may end up just getting CC'd the moment he tries to close the gap. Meanwhile, Syndra, she's pretty short range too. She kind of just has to kill what's in front of her. So if she's forced to use her ultimate on a humanoid or a Kaiser, Mad don't really care. As long as Arome and Kazi are still alive, Mad is always going to have more than enough damage to clean up these fights. So I think right now, when I look at things, I think Mad's comp is easier to execute. I think that it's easier for them to play around objectives, and I also think that they just offer a lot more in terms of late game comp. So I think Mad do have the scaling advantage. They look for another fight.
Oh, they're going in. Arome's teleported in from behind. Mickey's late to the fight. This is a 4-on-4. Shadow keeps him out for now. That's 1 already. Kazi's looking for another. Kaiser stays alive. Kazi's going to continue to chase. He's got himself a double kill. Mad are doing it. Mad are in the lead. They are playing the game right. And they are punishing G2 Esports. They're going to get themselves an uncontested Baron and absolute control in game 1 of the series.
What a beautiful flank from Arome. The synergy that they had to just shut down Caps was flawless. When we jump into the replay, I just want you to keep your eyes on how Arome comes into the backline and how Mad's goal is just kill Caps. With him gone, the rest of the dominoes will very quickly fall. And it just becomes like blowing down a tower of cards. Again, keep your eyes on this TP just to the left-hand side. Comes in from the flank, the Nautilus ultimate hits the Syndra. And what you gonna do? Jankos is trying to provide peel, Perks has no one that he can hit, and then Kazi's just flashing into the front of them. Meanwhile, Mickey's getting zoned off by Shadow. We talked about how this comp is just easier to execute for Mad, and that's a prime example of how to do it. Fantastic teamwork from Mad to just rip apart G2. They've now got the Baron. This game is fully in their control.
Unbelievable performance. I think they're going to do it. When you look at a game and you look at how a team is playing, Mad have earned this lead. They have moved around the map effectively. They have won the team fights effectively. I'm going to ignore the fact that Kaiser is in trouble for now. Will not be caught out just here. Kazi, no Fate's Call available. Just what on earth? That damage was fantastic. Kaiser goes down, but he takes 2 with him. Now Wonder's in trouble. He's going to chase onto Shadow, but he will get rendered into oblivion. I did not think that the turnaround was going to play out the way that it did. Humanoid is now getting some chunk onto Mickey, as there's another dragon available, but Mad have earned every single piece of gold in the advantage, and they are simply outplaying G2 in the opening game of this match.
It was talked about at the beginning of the day. Mad is a team that when the odds are completely against them, they shine the most. This team is the only team in the entirety of the LEC to beat all of the top 3 teams at least once this split. And of course, G2, technically they can't beat themselves, so they kind of don't qualify for that role. But you have to acknowledge the fact that Mad has done something that very few teams can claim credit to. The fact that they've been able to take those games off those top teams. Many people would sit there and say, oh, well, it was lucky. Oh, G2 misplayed. Origin had a bad draft. Fnatic misexecuted. Like, maybe, but Mad also do all the right things. When Mad have an opportunity, they are not afraid to take you by the arm and take the entire body with it. This team continues to impress, and they're doing it now. Now, of course, quick shot, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Correct.
There's 5 games, it's a best of 5 rather, they've got to win at least 3, and right now they look poised and ready to win the first one. But that doesn't mean that they're suddenly favorites to win the series. G2 have fallen down before, but again, that's assuming G2 lose. Right? Yes. We've seen them come back from situations like this before in a game that they shouldn't be able to win. It only takes one big mistake from Mad for them to suddenly reclaim control. So let's see how Mad push with the lead that they currently have.
I don't feel like this is the game that is going to happen. Just on those 25 minutes of gameplay, look, I agree with everything you said, and the expectation is still G2 can bounce back. When you look at those 5 players on your screen, the Mad Lions squad has been a little maybe underrated. They quietly moved their way into 4th place.
For sure, yeah.
They had a strong second half of the split. Those 5 players, none of them are true superstars yet. We've seen superstar moments, you know, Kaiser, Humanoid, Shadow, Kazi, Arome. They've had good standout games from time to time. But you would have expected pound for pound to be outclassed by G2. The thing that makes Mad impressive is as a young rookie team, they play as a team. They work as a team. And their mid-game has been fantastic. We call them the comeback kids because they played and picked up wins from behind all split long. Now they've been ahead. Now they're pushing into the base. They've already got a gigantic advantage over G2. Mickey's diving the back line, but it simply doesn't matter, dude. Arome is keeping 4 members of G2 busy. Kaze throws in Kaiser, and he's already used that solar flare. That's a trade back. This is starting to turn a little in G2's favor, but that's a defensive flash, and Humanoid cannot find the Gragas barrel. But the inhibitor will go down. It's a 4,000 gold lead, 6 kill lead. And this rookie squad is making a statement in their debut playoff game.
TP flank.
I think this ends badly for G2 though. Take a look at this. Humanoid starting to turn around. TP flank again. This time Arome. He's coming in for the hunt. Follow Kazi, bottom right of your screen. He's hunting on Caps. Manages to get the Pierce. Manages to get the Ren. Caps is trying to hover away to safety. Will buy some time. Flash is available. Needs to flash towards the pit. Scat of the Weak will need to connect. Luden's Echo gets a small proc in G2. They've managed to surround Mad Lions. The Scat of the Weak did not hit. And therefore, Mad Lions are escaping for now. Humanoid manages to get a shield. Won't be able to escape. The GA is going to get proc. Now Jankos goes down. Mad Lions are forced backwards. They've been chased from inhibitor to inhibitor. pole to pole. Caps throws out the unleashed power and Shadow dodges it with the hourglass. All of a sudden, Caps goes down. Now Wonder's running away. Cue the Benny Hill music because we're going a running.
Oh man, what a crazy fight. It looks like they might not even be over yet. Wonder is doing everything that he can to try and escape.
Oh my word, it's still going. Wonder, come on, Sap Magic. Sap Magic again, I'm sure you can get it. Gonna dash forward, get the rubber bash. Snap Magic, he does it again. Come on! Oh man, his bark truly is bigger than his bites.
Oh, that was a good joke. I'm impressed with that one, Coach. That was
Thank
really
you.
good.
I'll take that one. I'll take that
so
one.
let's try and break down this replay. So this is the end of the fight, where it ended up being a 1-for-1 trade of supports. Mad are trying to walk away with an inhibitor taken, but then we see the TP flanks come in from Wonder and Caps. They tried to just get a quick pick onto Kazi, but the problem is they realize they can't win that 2v2, so they have to wait for Yankees and Perks to arrive. Of course, they're very far behind, so this forces Caps to take the long way around. He has to use his QE to keep Arome at arm's length, and now you're like, Mad, do you go for Caps or do you try and disengage? If Humanoid landed that hook, he was gonna die. So the fact that he missed it was actually much better for him. And it looks at this point, the G2 just gonna get a huge team fight win. They're gonna get back into the game, but look at this flash body slam from Shadow. Helps get the double kill for his team. And then with a good flash from Kazi, now Mad can look to restart the fight. Of course, with all of this chasing happening, the Baron does end up being respawned, allowing Mad to secure this one very quickly. And yeah, it should just be an easy cleanup from here. It's cool to see G2 not really giving up. They're still trying to find these flank fights. They're still trying to find opportunities back into the game. But Mad just have so much more of an advantage. They are far too strong. And Kazi has 10 kills. Quick show, he's level 16. Like, so much debate has been around Rookie of the Split, right? You know, and Kazi's been a player that you have to question, you know, does he deserve it? He's been quite quiet, honestly, on the side of Mad. I don't think, like, he's been... You know, he doesn't make that same splash that many other AD carries have, but he's very reliable. He's very consistent. And the one thing you can say for certain is that Kalista, in his hands, definitely one of his best champions.
Dude, look at Arome and Shadow. 507, 608. There are 33 kills in this game. Arome's been involved in 12. Shadow's been involved in 14. And they have been very chaotic kills and team fights and craziness. And they haven't conceded a death. This is phenomenal performance from Mad Lions. I have to go back to the draft. Syndra first pick for Caps, 2, 3, and 6. Lucian thrown into the mid lane for Perks, 5, 5, and 5. And that last pick, Alley-oop, the Nautilus and the Leona from Mad Lions. Max said it in the interview, we want to play our game, we want to play our way. They got their draft. By God, is it good to watch.
Yeah, quick shot, I think you hit the nail on the head. It was funny because when we see this Nautilus locked in, you don't sit there and go, oh yeah, that's definitely a comfort pick for Humanoid, right? That's not where your brain goes to, but the high priority on the Kalista is definitely paying off, as this looks like this could be the last fight of the game.
It is, and like, I mean, Perk said it, you know, he wants the assassin versus assassin matchup, and Humanoid, he's thrown out that depth charge. There's a little bit of trouble, he's running for his life. The culling does nothing. Absolutely nothing. Shadow gets a fantastic barrel. Mickey's diving all the way to the back line. He's trying to put pressure on Humanoid, but he's taken out by Shadow. Now all of a sudden, Kaiser's running for his life. Arome's done so much to zone the rest of G2. Arome has zoned G2 Esports into another dimension this game. They're running for their lives. The Humanoids TP back in. Inhibitor number 2. Inhibitor number 3. Super minions are the Nexus turrets. Vedius, what is the one saying play-by-plays love to say when a series gets exciting? Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone...
It looks like we got a series on our hands, but the game isn't over yet. Quick shot. Flash in from G2.
My friend, the game is over. Mad Lions are doing it. Hashtag Mad Win.
Are they?
Damn it, damn it, damn it. Come on, Kazi. Make this work. Get a bunch of Rens in. The Hurricane is doing a lot. The Rend will get dodged away from for now. Manages to push back. Not going to get any kills. The shield comes up. Okay, that was my fault. My bad.
That is 4 people dead. Quick shot. That's on me. 4 members of Mad Lions dead. That is so much gold that G2 just picked up. Let's have a switch over to the gold. Let's see how much they're currently sitting on. 3,000 for Perks. He just went up to 15k gold. Caps is sitting at 16,000 total. He has 2.3k to spend. Like, that kind of money is not just, you know, that's not nothing. That's like completed items. Quick shot. Mad just gave away a huge advantage. They lost their Baron. It's not going to be alive for 2.5 minutes. G2 will gain a lot of experience off the back of that. And the thing you got to note is these fights have actually been getting closer. G2 seem to be learning ways in which they can navigate around Mad's stronger team fight comp, and they've actually only been trading 1-for-1, maybe 2-for-1, and this was the opportunity for Mad to actually win it all, but then they greeded. They overcommitted. They succumbed to the glory. They fell the same trap you did, Quickshot. They thought it was done, dusted, over, and then they took one step too far, and then the kings of Europe snapped back. Now, suddenly, the game is a lot more tense, and of course, Mad still in full control. Expectations are they're still going to win this game. One single team fight isn't enough to suddenly swing the game on its head. Kazi is still full build. He's level 17, but when you look across the items, when you look across the board, G2 is a lot closer now than they were before.
They are. Unleashed Power comes down, doesn't pick up the kill into Shadow. Mad Lions are on soul point in the Ocean Drake is spawning in 90 seconds. Humanoid will clear out this ward and start to step forward. As Mad Lions with the 4,000 gold lead, they got the item advantage. GA's available for Arome and Kazi. And the flashes are available too. Let's take a look how this final push is going to play out. I like this. They don't need to force around Dragon. I like that Mad Lions are pushing themselves into the base. They are looking for the Nexus. This could be the final fight. Perks is not here just yet. Arome goes in. Caps is in trouble. The Nature's Grasp comes down. It's not going to be enough to dissuade. The Depth Charge flies out from Humanoid, and the culling, it barely scratches Mad Lion's HP bars. Humanoid buys some time, and that was fantastic. Fate's Call will push G2 back to the Nexus. Arome gets popped with the GA. Is this going to be turned in G2's favor? No! The Zenith Blade manages to find a stun. Wonder's going to start to get a bunch of chunks into him. The Ren is going to do so much damage. It pops. It kills. It's G2 down. It's G2 defeated. And Mad Lions, the rookies, the team that was picked by G2 Esports, strikes first in the spring playoffs.
Impressive stuff coming out from Mad Lions, and we got to go back to the early game, right? When we looked at the draft, when we looked at what to expect, it was going to be about G2 dominance, using that strong mid-jungle duo to try and force plays. They also had a strong 2v2 bot. They could have looked for some fights, but the early game skirmishing did not go in G2's favor. Mad Lions were in control, and the moment they got that slight lead, they moved around the map extremely quickly. They took top tower, they took bot tower, they kept getting kills, and they went toe-to-toe with G2, and you could see how with their comp, it was getting harder and harder for G2 to actually win out on these fights, while Kazi was just getting stronger and stronger. And even though G2 did get a huge fight in the enemy base, Mad Lions didn't back off. Mad Lions didn't just suddenly retreat. They didn't start playing scared. They went straight back to the base and said, okay,